Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a different kind of video. Instead of my highly edited and highly stylized YouTube content, I'm just going to kind of be a bit more casual in this video since I'm a lot more busy recently. That being said, the quality of these rankings should still be high as I'm using Tierlist Maker, our friendly website here. So for this video today, I'm going to rank every single level in Spark the Electric Jester 3. Now, the way this is going to work is that I'm going to rank all of the levels inside of their individual areas. I'm going to rank the areas overall, and then I'm going to rank all of them individually in this all stages category up here, so you can know where I think of all the stages internally. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope y'all enjoy this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I guess I'll get started. So first, we have Airstrip Madness. Okay, Airstrip Madness. It's the first level of Stratoria Interstellar. By the way, before I start, I just want to say none of the levels in this game are bad. The worst level that I'm going to put in this list would be like an S-class in any other platformer. Just so you know, alright? But Airstrip Madness. Airstrip Madness is the first level of Stratoria Interstellar, and it starts off with you driving a car on a highway into the airport and ending on you on a crashing plane. Well, not crashing, but it ends with you on a plane flying up into space. It doesn't get more epic than that, I'm sorry. The concept alone earns it points on this list, and I think it's going to be the #1 pick for Stratoria Interstellar, if not for other ones I have in mind. The level design in this is really fast paced, and it's really hard to dodge the luggage in that open area with all the enemies. So it really has high adrenaline feel to it, and is excellent to replay, just like most of the levels in this game. I highly recommend it as the top pick for Stratoria Interstellar for you who played this game. Now next we have Alpine Carrera, first level of the game, and the first level of Terminal Village. Now, this is a car level. Most of the car levels in this game are probably going to be lower on this list because I don't think the car is that polished. It is fun, don't get me wrong. It is a fun vehicle to control, but it's not that polished, and the levels are pretty short, all things considered, which is crazy because most of the levels in this game, especially the main one of each world, easily exceed over 5 minutes on your first playthrough. But this has good music. It's good as first level. I don't think it's a good tutorial because, I mean, a car chase is kind of weird for a platforming game to do right off the bat. It could be confusing to people who aren't familiar with this genre of games, but it's exhilarating. The car physics are decent enough. It has plenty of spectacle with the Fark Force robots traveling you and chasing you in the background, and it looks fine. So yeah, probably a lower Terminal Village pick, but not a bad level at all. Now AM Village, I love this level. The exploration levels are, I just gotta say, they're really well done. Since it doesn't have a focus on fast-paced platforming, Lake Pepper chose to choose a more slow and exploration style approach, and that leaves room for you to explore his world and admire the amazing level design and level aesthetics. And my goodness, each of the level aesthetics in there are just beautiful. Especially AM Village, I think it's the best exploration metal place in the game, and that's just because I love the background alone. You have the beautiful trains in the background with that nice, calming, soothing music, and ultimately, it just makes you feel serene, and you can't really focus on how the fact you're not going fast, you're too focused on just the experience of playing the game. That probably didn't make much sense to y'all, but to me, it is easily a high pick on this list, especially for Terminal Village. Gosh, I want to play this level again. By the way, I had to replay all these levels to record this video, so yeah, that's how you know I'm dedicated. Also, this game is really fun to play, so it was not a drag at all. Now, Arid Hole, wow, another exploration level place. This one isn't as good as AM Village, though it is still good in my opinion because I was completely unexpected. When I was playing through Spark 3 in my first playthrough, almost 1 hour into the game were levels I already knew and had played before. I think Arid Hole and the other level in the desert place was the first time I actually played a level that wasn't in the demo, and it surprised me just how beautiful this game looked. I mean, you have the searing hot desert in this open area that looks more polished than, honestly, 3D games nowadays. And the exploration medals are placed in really clever spots that force you to actually, explore and see through all the aesthetics and stuff that like placed in the level. I think it does a great job of slowing the player down and getting them more familiar with the controls of the game so that you can prepare for more harder platforming trials that come ahead of you. And Arid Hole is just another one of those great exploration levels. And yeah, not more to say there. Now, Aviator Highway, another Trattoria Interstellar place. Gonna put it a low, obviously, because I think the car levels aren't of the best quality in this game. But this one is probably the best one in my opinion because, I mean, you have that giant spectacle highway at the end where you drive on the wall. I mean, it doesn't really get cooler than that. Plus, for a good bit there, it's actually a long level, unlike the other car levels, which is pretty surprising because, you know, like I said earlier, the car levels are pretty short in this game. 1 second. And I'm back. Alright, sorry about that. Where was I at? Oh yeah, Aviator Highway. Great car level. I feel like the physics screwed up on that drifting part, but it's overall really good in spectacle. Not bad at all. Next we have Balloon Fiesta. A gorgeous level. Probably the most beautiful looking level in the entire game. I've seen screenshots of this level well before I even played the game, so I got spoiled on it because, you know, people were so excited about, I mean, just how good it looks. It honestly looks to me if Litoria Bay from Spark 1 was converted into 3D. That's just my personal opinion. I will admit the level design of this level is kind of gets mid towards the end with the boss rushes, and there's no way to skip that open area part, even if you're trying to speedrun, which is kind of rare for Spark to do. I mean, if you can avoid fights in this game, it's pretty easily to avoid them. But for this level, it's somehow really hard to do it. I haven't managed to pass it, but maybe someone else have. But yeah. Balloon Fiesta, it's a top tier level, and just the looks of it alone. It looks gorgeous, it plays beautifully. Only drag is that the level design isn't as strong as the entire way through. So yeah. Oh, I should probably make an S-Class? Nah. At the end, guys, I'll change the tier list. I'll change the name of them, so I'll change this to like S, A, B, C, D, E, F. You already know drill. Next one. Cannon Zero. I don't actually like this level that much. I see why Liftoff got rid of the score levels because they kind of drag on for a bit and they feel kind of they're not as fun as the exploration one because you're forced to fight. And while the combat is good in Spark 3, when it's just fighting with nothing else, it drags on a bit. It's not a bad fighting system, but it's not good enough to the point where you would enjoy doing combat for like minutes on end. The stage itself, though, it looks like a generic base level until you go to that cargo hold where it has the giant lake. Oh my goodness. Running underwater and fighting in that giant lake is so fun to do, especially with me finding out that the dash button allows you to swim kind of like a dolphin while you're going up and down. That whole section looks gorgeous, and it feels like he didn't even need to add that. He just did it because he thought it would be cool, and I gotta admit, it was really cool. So yeah, definitely not the best dry-on desert, but definitely a good one. Alright, by the way, I'm gonna rank all the practice levels at the end because, you know, make it simple. So I'm just gonna put this at the end. Yeah, put it right here. Stupid ads. Alright, Cold Dry Desert. Now, this level... So, there are two train levels in Terminal Village. I don't want to mistake them from each other, but I think Cold Dry Desert is the better of the two because it's longer and it looks more beautiful. The first one is more of a speedrunning map, and it looks like it's just a dumbed down version of this one. Let me try to find it. Hold on a second. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Here we go. High Rise Tracks. High Rise Tracks is just the worst version of Cold Dry Desert, which I will still say they're better than these tracks, but it definitely was underwhelming when I played Cold Dry Desert. I gotta say, they're both really fast. You will go through these levels incredibly fast, but Cold Dry Desert just looks better in my opinion. High Rise Tracks looks more like a beta stage in my opinion. But hey, tell me what y'all think of all these stages in the comments below. Tell me if I'm underrating them or overrating them. I know y'all opinions are probably vastly different from mine. Oh, Deep Dissent. Oh, I didn't really understand where I would put the single level places. I just put them in all stages early. Deep Descent from Pacific Abyss is one of the best stages in the game. When I saw the trailer drop on Liftof's channel, I was so excited to play this level. The music's amazing. The level design is incredible. It's nice and long. It feels like a final stage. It's just one of the best stages of the game. Probably my top 5 if I'm being really honest. And I mean, there's so many memes of this stage. I know the fall mechanic was added just for this stage, so that could be a caveat of why people don't like it, but if anything, this stage has earned its right to have a fall damage mechanic because of how epic it is. Definitely a high tier stage. District 5. I believe District 5 is the first level of Protest Prison. And if that's the case, Protest Prison's first level is one of the best levels in the game. It's up there with like Deep Dissent in top 5 material. The way you transition from this rugged prison of a jungle into the fiery interior of the, prison fortress is just so engaging, and it's like a masterclass in level design and art aesthetics. I really admire this level's design because it takes you to so many types of gimmicks and genres of levels that it almost feels like you're going through a world in a whole stage, which kind of is the theme to Spark 3 in its entirety, is that these levels are more like open worlds that you're just traveling upon. Nothing feels linear in this game, even though I know it's just a straight line, and that's a really hard feeling to get inside of the player. And Protest Prison's first level, District 5, I know I'm ignoring the name, is just perfect for that. My first time playing it, again, came as a surprise to me because while I saw it in the trailer, I knew that it was way more it was holding out on inside of those trailers, and I had no clue that the forest was going to start burning and turning on fire halfway through. And those hang glider mechanics, those are really fun too. Just a top tier stage, just like Deep Descent. Definitely top 5. Now, District 6. Oh man, I hate the names for Protest Prison. Why did Lake Bedford have to name them such obscure things? Because it's hard to remember. If I'm not mistaken, District 6 is the log cabin one, where you start off in a log cabin and then you end off the level with the nuclear power plants in the background. If that is the level that District 6 is, it's another top tier level in Protest Prison. As one, I like nuclear power plants, I'm just gonna say. Nuclear power plants look cool, and they just fit in perfectly with Protest Prison's aesthetic. Add that to the fact that you can do amazing skips if you time your jumps off of the logs inside of the tunnels, and you've got yourself a pretty fun level of speedrun. I gotta say though, the enemy placement is kind of annoying. I don't know why, but I just seem to hit every enemy if I'm like trying to go fast through it. Maybe that's just my skill, but it does get annoying after a while. I guess it just pushes you to get better at the game overall. It seems so far the highest quality level world is Protest Prison, which makes sense. Protest Prison is when the game starts to become really good, in my opinion. Now, District 79. Oh, as soon as I said that, we get to the first level I don't like. Okay, so District 79. There's a lot of reasons I don't like it. For one, it's a combat-oriented one, which it's like, it stops the ebb and flow. I hate when platformers stop you to do combat, like you're running, and then it stops you in a section to do combat. I hate that. It just ruins the flow of the level entirely. But the combat system in Spark 3 more than makes up for it. The reason I really don't like this level is because, it doesn't feel like it's the spirit of Protest Prison. So for each of these sub-levels, you have these open, wide areas where you go from place to place, jumping from platform to platform, traveling through this giant jungle. And District 7 feels way more linear than all the other ones, which kind of is a shame because, it's a fighting-oriented one, so I know it had to be that, but, you didn't have to put that in. That being said, it's still a good level. It's fun, but it's not one I revisit a lot. It's kind of forgettable too because it's the only double-digit named district, which is kind of weird. District 9, by the way, Protest Prison's always going to be named in accordance to one another because it's the only ones that have the same name followed by number. District 9, I know this one is the most speedrun I've tried because I was in a Discord call with some people in the Spark Discord server, which you should check out, and he taught me how to speedrun this level good. I still haven't done it yet perfectly, but you could do some pretty crazy tricks early on in this level where you magnet dash off of the enemy into the grind rail, and then you magnet dash off of 2 energy bits, I think that's what those are called, into the grind rail, and it saves you like 20 seconds. It's insane how fast you can go through that part. And then you want to take the hang glider because if you try to go to the open platforming section, you will take forever. But that's also where the exploration medals are, which it's pretty clever how you could take the hang glider, or you can risk going from platform to platform by yourself using your skills as a platformer. It's really good level design and proves that Lake Bedford was thinking open world whenever he was making these levels. So yeah, District 9, definitely, it's better than District 6 in my opinion. Definitely a top tier one. And I think that's all of Protest Prison's levels. Let me see, do I have any others down here? Yeah, I still have some, but they're not from Protest Prison. Next level we have on this list is Double Moon Villa. Do I even need to say it? First actual level in the game, besides the car level, of course. Great introductory level, you go pretty fast. Enemy placement is pretty decent. There's like a lot of exploration places you can go to. Seeing the other formies around the village is super cool detail that I vastly enjoyed. one day I gotta play this game and then just take my time, spend like an hour on each level dissecting every single detail in every level. Of course, I'm gonna do this by myself because a YouTube video on that would take like 5 hours. But yeah, Double Moon Villa, probably the best level in Terminal Village, hands down. I love the art aesthetics. I love the theming. The song's amazing. Yeah, top tiers, easily. Downtown Dissent, first level of Protest City. Do I even need to say it? Top tier level. I mean, what's there any doubt, guys? I mean, it's Downtown Dissent. I mean, it was the leaked level that was on Spark 3 that I accidentally leaked. Oopsies. But man, it lives up to its name. To see the actual protesters in the city protesting the FARC force and you actually using them as a platform to jump off of, pretty cool world building detail. And I actually love the art style of this level a lot. It looks really grungy and dirty, which really adds to that, you know, whole feel. It's like if it was Smog City, but darker version of it, which I constantly keep making callbacks to Spark 1. That's because it feels like Spark 3 took Spark 1's level design and internalized it into its own 3D style. But yeah, down to the amazing level. Love the flighting, whatever that ship thing at the end is, the flying section where you destroy the cannons. Really cool. It reminds me of Sonic Adventure, you know, the early days where you pilot the tornado. And, you know, just a really fun level. Not much to say there. It's probably the most open of all the worlds, I gotta say. Definitely a huge level. Dropship Daybreak. This is the exploration stage for Hysteria, which, if that's the case, I don't have any strong opinions on it. I'm actually gonna put it above Balloon Fiesta, but I remember the core mechanic I have are the medals are really hard to find, like extremely hard to find, and the day and night mechanic is simply gorgeous. I think Hysteria is the best looking stage in the game for that whole mechanic alone, because daytime Hysteria is super underrated. Like, it looks as good as the nighttime, if not better in my opinion. And the fact that you have a level that switches between the two aesthetics, super eye candy. But the exploration itself, a lot of places you can fall, and it's not that open of a place. The medals are just really annoying to get places that are really hard to find and trippy, if I do recall correctly. But that space station in the middle part of the level is pretty fun to go through. I do like that part. Endless Hall. Okay, this is the one stage in Hysteria that I don't like. The only section I do like of it is that long hallway where you're running through the tunnel and there's like the fire parts coming up, but I didn't really like the illusions going on here. It was just really trippy level. The whole tunnel section where you have to choose which hole to go into and pick the right one, super annoying. I don't really like gimmicks like that. And the fact that it's not even randomized, that it's the same hole every single time, it kind of detracts from the one-time trick. It feels more gimmicky than any other stage in the game, which, while not bad, it definitely does detract from it a bit, because, I mean, all the other gimmicks in this game are excellent and engage well with the level design. So yeah, Endless Hall, it's fine. Like I said, none of the levels in this game are bad. It's just, compared to the other ones, it's no masterpiece. I'll leave it at that. Heaven Park, on the other hand, this is a speed stage where you're timed, and probably, I wouldn't say the best. Yeah, I would say it's the best one in the game. One, the daytime, like I said before, daytime Hysteria, underrated. It's probably the best looking aesthetic in the game. And the lava aesthetic you get as you go through the tunnel of this level with the trippy designs, this is what Endless Hall should have been. It's not gimmicky at all. It's just pure speed action with fast reaction time being the main mechanic to get through it. And I know this is not anything to do with the stage, but does the background of the stage up here look kind of like the Sonic Worlds Engine's world, kind of like shows that monster looking thing? I don't know. I have no clue what I'm talking about, but people who know, you know. But yeah, Heaven Park, it's just an amazing level. Looks nice, plays nice. And that's all you really need, to be honest. Now, Lost Ravine. This is a dry and desert level, which is high tier for the pure fact that the music hit me like a truck. Like, when I got into this level, I just had to turn off my mic and just sit there for a second going like, damn, this song is fire. And the level itself, I'm pretty sure was in the demo. I'm not sure though. Yeah, I think it was in the demo, but it didn't have the music, which obviously that would have been a spoiler. It's the one song that didn't get spoiled, at least for me, before the game came out. And man, the level itself looks amazing. It's a giant water factory, which kind of is interesting considering that it's in giant desert. I know deserts are places without a lot of water. It makes you wonder the world building. Is this the place where the Formies who live in Dryon Desert get all their water from? After all, in Dryon Desert, you can see that there are civilizations beneath you, the Rail Canyon of Spark 3, but this place feels it's kind of epic in a way, you know? Just adds more to the world building and makes the world seem way bigger than what it is. And plus, I'm a real huge fan of factory levels that are like open, really open like this. Plus the water, it looks gorgeous, and again, Spark 3's art style is really appealing. I'm spinning too much on this level though, let's move on. Now we have Las Rivera. Las Rivera is obviously the best stage in Dryon Desert. I feel like all the first stages in the game are the best stages in the game and the best stage of their respective area because it's obviously the one Lake put most effort into. Let me just say, background looks the most gorgeous out of any other stage. I know I said Hysteria has the best aesthetics overall, but the background of this, as you see the Formies in their cars on the kind of air highway tube thingies, which you look very far back, plus the amazing woodworks and factory works around as you go into the tunnels and cave. It's just so fun, man. It's the definition of just a fun level. Also, the Rail Canyon aesthetics from this level are extremely strong, but unlike Rail Canyon from Sonic Heroes, this one's actually good. Really solid level, and I'm kind of mad that I got spoiled on this in the demo, but to be honest, I don't know what level Lake could have put in the demo that wouldn't have been spoiled, because I played Las Rivera countless times. It's also another fun level of speedrun, and if I know for a fact, if I didn't get spoiled in it, it probably would have been top 5 material. Next we have Mayday Midday, finally back to Stratoria Interstellar. This level is just the plane level, but kind of reversed. The plane is crashing back to the airport or a forest, and I'm not gonna lie, this level's kind of disappointing. The best part of it is the fact that you can get sucked out of the plane into an instant death. I think that's pretty cool, and it like following realistic physics of a plane crashing and the windows cracking. But I kind of expected a foresty area at the end as the plane was crashing, but nope, you just crashed the plane and that's the end of the level. It would have been cool to be inside of the forest that the plane did crash in and didn't look back on inside of the carnage and metal that, you know, the plane would have left behind. But unfortunately, it just ends that fast. It is a time level, which is appropriate, but kind of boring other than that. Like I said, this thing it has going for it is that cool mechanic that insta-kills you, but nothing interesting. Alright, next we have Roadway Ralley, the downtown Dissent car level. This level sucks if you do it in the car. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of the worst car levels, because again, car physics are kind of wonky. But one detail I love about every single car level is that you don't have to actually be in the car to play them. You can run on the carway or road as Spark. And honestly, the fact that Lake left that as an option for you just proves that he's like a master at level design, because man, when you play these levels as Spark instead of the car, they become a whole lot more fun. Like, especially the Stratoria one, which I never mentioned, playing that as Spark is actually a real challenge to play because you have to make sure you don't, you know, lose your speed and fall off the sideways part. I guess you do to a certain extent with the car as well, but Roadway Rally, play it as Spark. Playing it as the car, it's kind of boring, but playing it as Spark becomes way more fun because your physics are more polished and different. But other than that, I would have to say it's the worst stage in Protest City, hands down. Oh, seems like we're getting pretty close. Splash Grotto. This is another Dryon Desert one and another speed one. This is just Lost Ravine, but you're inside of the cave the entire time. I will say the aesthetics of this level are extremely cool. As I say, I love the factory and the inner cave works, and the fact that this is inside of Dryon Desert, really, I just really like to imagine the world of Spark 3, because it seems so interesting that you have something like this inside of a giant desert. That being said, the rail grinding mechanic is really fun, though it does get a little boring if you do it for longer periods of time. I think Splash Grotto was the point in the game where I was kind of getting bored of it, which probably explains why it's less sparse in the upcoming levels. Dryon Desert and Pacific Abyss are really the only heavy grind rail heavy places in the game, because after that, they get pretty sparingly. There's a little in Protest Prison, a little bit in Hysteria Historia, but not as much as in Dryon Desert. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Splash Grotto, love the name. Music is good. Level itself is beautiful, but grind railing speed, it's just kind of, it gets a little boring after a while. Just a little bit. Not bad level, like I said before. Now, Nighttime Phenomenon. The first stage of Hysteria, and the best stage. I gotta say, this stage is probably top 5 again. Hysteria has the best theme in the game, in my opinion. I already said that in my top 10 songs of Spark 3. It is easily one of the best levels in the game because of its aesthetics alone. I mean, that planetary effect with the planets in the background coming close to you, excellent design. I mean, who would have thought of that? It's just so beautiful to look at. Plus, you know, the music going the music going in tandem with the rhythm of the level. That probably made no sense, yo. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the music complements the level perfectly. I feel like all the other songs in the game match the level good, but Hysteria, its level theme was made for it. Like, it just matches it so good. The gimmicks in this place do what Endless Hall was trying to do, but better because it comes as a legitimate surprise, and it doesn't disturb the fact of multiple playthroughs. Like, it's not tedious. See, the Endless Hall had that giant tube at the end, which you just gotta know what the right tube to jump in is, and it's just done. But with Hysteria, the whole fun of the level is the weird and wacky effects that you go through, from the tunnels that change your course, to the endless hallways that you gotta run backwards in, to the misty fog that changes your direction. It's just so fun and mesmerizing. And it's pretty unique level. Like I said, it's like Latoria Bay in 3D, but the idea of I guess the amusement park that is really tricky and relies on illusions. I'm a huge fan of those illusions, circus places. So yeah, definitely a fun level. Definitely one of the best in the game too. Next we have Residence Rattle. What is Residence Rattle? Oh yeah, so Residence Rattle is another one of those enemy stages where you have to fight a bunch of enemies head on, and you stop the platforming to do it. Not gonna lie, this is one of the worst stages in the game. Like I said, Downtown Dissent itself has like the main stage, and that's like the only one I really enjoy going through. None of the other sub stages I really would play on a second playthrough willingly, because I mean they're not really fun, to be honest. And Residence Rattle is another one of those enemy stages which I already explained that I don't really like because of the whole ebb and flow of you stopping and going and stopping and going. Yeah, it just gets tiring. Like I said, combat makes up for it, but doesn't make up for it that much. Still annoying. And I guess I'll go to what I think is the actual worst stage in the game, Squabble Spillway. This is an exploration stage, but unlike the other exploration stages, Squabble Spillway, first of all, the name is trash, but unlike the other exploration stages, unfortunately, this one takes entirely inside of the cavern, which doesn't look that appealing and is actually quite ugly in my opinion. And I'm a huge fan of Protest City daytime. Like, it looks pretty nice with the foggy smog covering the screen and city. But Squabble Spillway, nope, it just takes entirely inside of the cavern. Plus, you can beat it in like 13 seconds because the square medals are like super bunched together. And the part where you go deep inside the cavern, where you can just fall to your death, is not really well telegraphed, because I just keep falling and then I just die and I'm like, wait a minute, that's a death spot. It just feels, the level design just feels all over the place. Definitely one of the least favorite stages to go through. Plus the missed potential of being able to explore open day Protest City. I mean, come on, that's kind of unfair. That would have been amazing. Now we have Strike Sewer. Okay, I actually like Strike Sewer. It's another good Protest City. It's an okay stage. So you get to do the stop and go method in this stage, but also it's different because you actually do it inside of the plane or ship. I'm just going to call it the ship, which is actually fun to control. I actually like the ship's controls. I think it's the best vehicle in the game out of the mech, car, and the ship. And flying through the open city in this thing while you're destroying robots is just, it's such a vibe. And traveling through the sewer, it makes you feel like an actual rogue going through the city, escaping the police force. And it's really hard to put that feeling across organically in a game like this. And I think it pulls it off excellently, especially with the fact that it's actually a pretty difficult level, like all things considered. I say difficult, but none of the levels in this game are really hard. But this level, it'll throw you for a loop if you're not really paying attention to your HP or stuff like that. Plus, the exploration medals are actually really hard to find. But that's a theme for all these stages. The exploration medals, they're hidden really well. Like, you're going to spend hours trying to find them, so be prepared if you plan on 100% in the game, because I know I did, but I have to find them in the DLC now. That's gonna be fun. It looks like we're missing some levels here. Okay, so this is stage 2 Liftoff. This is another Tutorial Interstellar level. It's fine, it's another timed level. It's basically start off on the ground inside the forest. Like, you should have spent more time in the forest, in my opinion, in Trattoria Interstellar. And it's just like a construction site that you constantly go up of. I've seen some crazy speedruns of the stage, but it's pretty average to me, I'm not gonna lie. Now, I'm missing the space level of Trattoria Interstellar, which is a problem because it's one of my favorite levels in the game. I think it's the best Trattoria Interstellar level because the theme of Trattoria Interstellar doesn't really make sense for the first levels, but for the space level, oh yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense. And I think it was made for that level, I'm not gonna lie. Let me see if I have it in my files real quick. Because, yeah, I know I added it on here, and it's annoying that I can't find it. Oh my goodness, did I really delete it on accident? Oh, I really deleted it. Okay, just imagine that the level is at the top of Trattoria Interstellar. I'm just gonna, yeah, just pretend like I edited the video in a way that it's in front of Airstrip Madness, but y'all know what I'm talking about, the space level. It's the best Trattoria level in the game, in my opinion. Speaking of best level in the game, we have Utopia Shelter. Utopia Shelter is the best Spark 3 level. There really is no debating this. I played this level countless times. It's infinitely fun. It's the perfect example of how to do a penultimate level. Apparently it was supposed to be even longer, but it's so satisfying trying to get your time shorter and shorter and traveling on all the unique platforms and roadways that this place has. It feels like a combination of all the level design ideas from previous levels without having the aesthetics there. And the idea that you're finally at the end in this giant, well, utopia, it's just really satisfying and a great send-off to the player that after this great adventure, you get one final test with lives, and that's it. You fail, you lose your progress, and you have to start over. It really upped the difficulty, which definitely Spark 3 could have handled. Now again with Utopia Shelter, one thing I will say about it is that the ending parts get a bit confusing when you go inside the white void. You have to search for a bunch of platforms that are bunched together in that giant runway, which does get confusing to new players, but man, does the stage make up for it with all of its amazing platforming and gimmicks. My favorite part of the level has got to be switching between the white void platforming and the open city. It's just, wow, that's so cool, man. And it really adds to the effect of you're inside of a matrix and that the playthrough you're going through isn't really you playing it for the first time. Just a really well-rounded level and great send-off to the player. Now, this last portion of the platforms, really, I don't know why I really added the practice levels, but let me just do it here. My favorite one is probably the high speeds one. The charge jester dash, wall walking, that one's pretty fun. The jester dash, which is the homing attack basically. Slope jumping, actually slope jumping goes above wall walking, and I guess below jester dash as well. Wall walking, my bad. And then fall damage is the worst one. I don't know why he added the fall damage mechanic level. I mean, I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess it adds to the 7 theme of the game because there are 7 levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I just say that wrong? Yeah, I said that completely wrong. Ignore that, I just said that. But yeah, fall damage is the worst level. Alright, now we get to ranking the overall levels themselves. So I'm gonna say, okay, so first, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rank every single level individually. So obviously Utopia Shelter and Pacific Abyss, the top 2 areas in the game. Obviously, they're the top 2 levels in my opinion. But the best area to play through, in my opinion, overall, in terms of quality, would be... Alright, so I'm gonna go through 1 through 5, 1 being the highest and 5 being the lowest. So 5, we have Protest City. Sorry, Protest City, you have one good level, 1 okay level, and the rest of them are pretty lackluster. Number 4 is probably going to be Trattoria Interstellar. I know that sounds crazy, but like the other levels like Midday Mayday and 2-Stage Liftoff are good levels, don't get me wrong, but they're not top tier quality. And the Aviator Highway is the best car level, so that goes for it. And the Space Shuttle one is pretty fun, but actually, you know what? No, 4 is Terminal Village. I'm sorry. Yeah, Trattoria Interstellar is too good. I'm going to put Terminal Village as number 4. It's the 4th area in the game. Number 3 is going to be Trattoria Interstellar. Number 2 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm so stupid. Guys, ignore me. I'm having trouble there. I'm kind of tired. Okay, number 6. Number 6 is Protest City. Number 5 is Terminal Village. Number 4 is Trattoria Interstellar. Number 3 is probably going to be Protest Prison, because while Protest Prison has the one good one, like the amazing level at the beginning, all the other ones they're pretty decent. I'm not going to lie, but District 79 drags it a bit. Number 2 is going to be Dry Desert. I love Dry Desert. It's one of the best areas in the game. The music, the atmosphere, it's just perfect, guys. And best area, no surprise, is Hysteria. Hysteria has the highest quality stages besides Endless Hole. It just looks the best. It plays the best. I love the music. Best area in the game, in my opinion. And now it's time to rank all of them individually. So, like I said, I was going to change the name of all of these. What the heck? Like I said, I was going to change the name of all of these to fit more with the ranking of each thing. And yeah. I hope y'all saw the rankings of all the levels before I changed their names, so you can see where they put in their individual area. Because, man, I did not give it time enough to change it. But here's what they should look like after I change everything. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to rank all the levels in S tier. So I can delete this, right? Oh, a second. I can delete row. Okay, so in S tier, we have the best levels in the game. The top 5 levels of Spark 3 are Utopia Shelter, Deep Dissent, Hysteria, Nighttime Phenomenon, Protest Prison, District 5, and man, I don't have the space station, but the space station would go right here. Just imagine a picture of the space station level right here. I'm probably gonna edit in post-editing, but yeah, those are the top 5 levels in the game. Are Space Shuttle place where you're in space, the District 5 Protest Prison, Nighttime Phenomenon, Deep Descent, and Utopia Shelter, with Deep Descent and Utopia Shelter being the top 2. Now from here on, I'm gonna put the list kind of like this, where you have Lost Rivera in A, Double Moon Villa in A, Splash Grotto is going to be, where's AM Village? AM Village is also A. Lost Ravine is an A2. Cold Dry Desert, that's B. These are all B levels. Cannon Zero, that's D. Downtown Dissent is A. Where's Heaven Park? Heaven Park is also A. Heaven Park is A. Airstrip Madness is A. All these are A, man. They're so good. Then we have our Bs, which we have Strike Sewer in B. We have District 9 in B, which is the Speed 1 level I was talking about. District 6, another B, which is the log one. District 79 is going in C. Cold Dry Desert, that's going in C as well, because it's just the word. Oh, no, not Cold Dry Desert, my bad. Cold Dry Desert is the good one. What's the one that I didn't like as much? High Rise Tracks, that's going in C. Let's see, Arid Hole, that's in B, like it should be. Any other tracks should be here? Splash Grotto, it can stay in B. That'll be nice. Splash Grotto can stay in B. Balloon Fiesta, get in B. Why is Balloon Fiesta in C? What the heck? Should be a top of B. Roadway Rally. Okay, so Rattle, that's F tier. I think that's the only F tier state. Oh no, Squabble. Where's the Squabble place? Spillway Squabble. Yeah, that's a bad place. 2-stage Liftoff. That's a B. Aviator Highway. That's a B. Roadway Rally. That's C. There's 79. That's C. High Race Tracks. Yeah, that's C. Dropship Daybreak. That's a B. I don't know why that's in C. Endless Hall. That's a C. And Cannon Zero, Mayday Midday, that's gonna be that's a C as well. I'm gonna put Residential Rally in D and Cannon Zero D, and Squabble Spillway, you can stay in F, alright? You're the worst level in the game. Squabble Spillway is the worst level in the game. You can stay in F tier. And I think that is going to do it. These are my rankings for the tier list. So the best levels in the game, we have Utopia Shelter, Deep Descent, Nighttime Phenomenon, District 5, and that shuttle place that I can't for the life of me remember what the name of it's called. Alright, And with that all said, that is my ranking of every single level or stage and area in Spark the Electric Jester 3. I really hope you enjoyed my rankings for this list because, I know y'all have disagreements with how I put these. But overall, I think these are pretty good levels, and I'm really happy with the way that they came out. Like, Spark 3 has some amazing, diversity of levels and aesthetics. Truly an amazing 3D platformer. If you haven't played it already, I highly recommend you play it, and I'll just put a link to this fixed tier list in the description below. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time on the Plexi Tier channel. Peace.